Another gorgeous spring day, and you know what that means?
We're outside.
We're outside. Anything that has to be done outside, you do on days like this. And the next big job, we have got to get all these strips pulled off the front of the house so I can replace the sheathing on the lower section to get ready for siding in probably another 3 weeks. So any day like this, I've got to take advantage of it. So I'm going to be busy today.
Definitely.
So I guess the next thing to do is let's get started. We need to get these strips off of the house so they can put the siding on. So let's get started. There's another one. We got about 150,000 left to go. With all the strips off the house, I can start in on the sheathing replacement. I'm going to start on this end of the house working with the easy sections. The reason I have to do that again is because some of these sections are bowed out from the house, and that happened years ago. The people that lived here before had a bunch of shrubs and things very close to the house, and the moisture warped the sheathing. So I'll get that done, and I'll move down to this other end, the other side of the utilities here, and do those easy sections. And then I'll wrap up working around the utility part here where the gas and the power and the furnace exhaust and everything come out. That's going to be a little slower going. I have to replace a faucet with a brand new one. Good opportunity to do that, and replace this old battered conduit from the furnace exhaust. All right, I'm going to get set up, start cutting some sheathing. And I've got beautiful shade today, provided by the good old maple in the yard. I've attached a 1x4 guide strip to the side of the house to guide the saw. That allows for the 18 inches I want to take off from the sheathing, plus another 1 5/16 inches to allow for the saw guide. Now I can just run a saw along this and cut those first 2 sections off easily. To make the cut, I've set the saw blade using a scrap piece of sheathing from another project and set it so the teeth will cut just to the depth of the sheathing as I make the cut along the side of the house. I made a test cut here and measured to make sure I have 18 inches before I go cut across both sections here. These are 2 4-foot wide sections of sheathing panel. With that done and confirmed, it's time to cut these 2 pieces. Those have been cut. Now I got to get them pried off of there. It's time to discover what's on the other side of this sheathing. Well, not too bad. There's some of the new insulation I had put in when I redid all the walls on the inside, mixed in with some of the old insulation that was from the original construction. You see, we've got a nice selection of hornet's nests that adopted this. At this angle, you can see just how far that sheathing had pulled away at the bottom. We'll get the other piece off, get this all cleaned up, and start cutting some replacement panels. Now it's time to cut the first piece of replacement sheathing, and I set this up a little bit ago. Again, I measured so that as my saw goes along this guide, I will cut a piece that's exactly 18 inches wide. That'll fit right in over there. And I'm using for all of this a 60-tooth blade to make a little bit smoother cut. Doesn't have to be super smooth for what I'm doing, but it still works a lot better on plywood. Let's get this thing cut. There we have it, nice smooth cut. Now we'll cut another one off. After taking a little break to mow the lawn, couple-hour job, ready to finish up this little section of sheathing on the house. I primed the bottom edge of both of these pieces of sheathing and let them sit and dry well while I was mowing, and that'll help keep the moisture from wicking up into there like it happened with the old sheathing. So I'm going to turn that over now. This is going to go on the bottom on the cement side because there's some contact with the cement. And again, like I did on the windows, I'm going to lay a bead of caulk along the top edge. Even though this will get covered with Tyvek before they put the siding on, I want to seal up this joint. Anything I can do to stop wind infiltration, the better. And I'm going to lay a bead of caulk along here. See if we can prevent things from climbing in here. All right, let's nail this in. Okay, we're in place. I'm going to finish nailing this in. We'll come back, set the other piece in. I'm back on the sheathing today, and I just want to make another little note here. When you're working by yourself and you need to put up the guide board for cutting, you find your reference marks and then just drive a scrap nail in far enough to hold up the board while you screw it in place. Sheathing that's pulled away from the house is an invitation to a lot of new friends. Like this colony of ants I discovered in the wall that I have already taken care of. In the process of repairing the sheathing on the lower part of the house in preparation for putting new siding on, I've been making some good progress. I've got the easy parts all done. Now I have to deal with a couple of areas where I've got a little bit of utility stuff to deal with. Vents for the furnace. I can deal with that easily. But today I'm going to tackle replacing this outside faucet. It's time that this faucet was replaced. It's been in here since the house was built 51 years ago. I have put new washers in. I've tried to clean up the seat a little bit, but it's just time to replace it since I'm doing all this siding work anyway. Sheathing repair is in the home stretch. The last pieces are cut, the bottoms are primed, everything's cut out. That hole goes away, it's going to get covered up. I'm going to have to do a little cutting to get an opening for the air conditioner, plumbing and power. Other than that, just lay a piece on here, nail it in. I have a repair piece to put in where the faucet was. I'll just nail that in and then re-drill it from the inside out. And that should take care of it. I've measured the distance from the side, from the top, to get a center point for the hole. I have a saw on here that fits the size that I want. I'm going to put the starter in the right on the center line, and we will drill this out. Now I'll drill from the back side so I don't splinter it all out. Alright, now we'll go get the saw. We'll cut a slot here. A couple lines from the edge of the hole. And we will cut that out. Okay, all I have to do now is set it in place like the other ones, get it caulked and nailed in, put that small piece on the bottom, and this section will be done. And we have it all in place. That little section we had to make the hole to go around the air conditioning stuff over to here, and that section where the faucet was and made it was all decayed, that's replaced. I'm going to go in the basement and drill the hole from the inside for the new one, get this thing primed up, and we are set on the front for siding. For the front of the house done, I proceeded to move around and take the batten strips off the rest of the house. That was a fun job as well, a lot of ladder work, but we got her done.